Hello, Taurus. Welcome to Conversations with Sakina and your snapshot reading for the month of November 2024. We're going to do something a little bit differently this time. I'm using the Feng Shui Bagua that shows 9 categories. And for each of these categories, I am going to pull one card for you to find out what may be in store for you for the month of November. So here we go, starting with the first category of wealth and abundance. So let's see what we have here. Okay, so we have the card of 4 of Coins or 4 of Pentacles. And I feel like this is saying that currently your wealth area is quite stable. Okay, you're not necessarily growing, you're not necessarily not growing, you're just kind of stable. And where abundance is concerned, this covers so many different areas. You know, if you have a roof over your head, that's abundance. If you have food in your belly, that's abundance. Abundance means a lot of different things. With this 4 of Coins, also a little more, Taurus, that it is sharing is that you don't want to hold the things that you have too tightly. When you hold them too tightly, then new things are not able to squeeze in through the cracks, so to speak. So if you are holding your money tight, you might want to open up and offer something to someone else. Purchase a gift for somebody or something if you can. And what ends up happening with that is that when you are generous with what you have, the universe rewards you back as well. Might not happen immediately, but it's just saying here that you're doing fine in the month of November. You're doing fine. So don't feel as though you have to hang on to things so tightly that you can't grow, that there's no way it can get any bigger, or that you could have any more. So next, Taurus, we've got fame and reputation to look at. Let's see here. We have 10 of Swords. So with the 10 of Swords, I feel like whatever is in your mind as to what fame and reputation is, I feel as though this is saying it's probably not where you want to be. Not really, okay? It's a 10 card. It's this particular idea about fame and reputation has seen its day. It really isn't what you want. And after the 10 comes the Ace, okay? And the Ace is about absolute potential. Whatever you can imagine, you can do, okay? So in the fame and reputation department, it's saying if you're doing something specific, if you have a specific idea in your head as to what this means to you, Taurus, it's asking you to put that out of your mind and let it go, and then allow the Ace of Swords to come in and open up the potential for you for what fame and reputation can mean for you. And really take a think on it. Okay, so let's see what love and marriage is about in November. And if you're single, we'll cover that. If you're married, we'll cover that. Okay. All right, so we have Temperance. And this is the Balance card. This is the card of alchemy. And alchemy's tough because it's like turning water into something solid, which we know can be done with an ice cube, but still it's easily meltable. Okay, so there's a certain amount of alchemy that goes into this card. And when it comes to love and marriage, whether you're single or whether you're married, okay, things have to be balanced. If you're single, you still need to have friends and close relationships. If you're married, you would like to have a close relationship with the person you're married to. And sometimes it's really difficult to get that balanced feeling, okay, with things. Sometimes you can be alone too much as a single person. Sometimes you can be around your spouse way too much and you'd like the alone time. Okay, just many different ways to balance here. So the month of November is about attempting to balance those aspects of your relationship if you're married, and balance things for yourself if you're single. So yeah, single or married, it's all about the balance and mixing things in a way that they actually do mix together in a good way. So not like being oil and water. That's difficult to mix, but it can happen. Salad dressing is oil and water. All right, Taurus. So moving on to family. Family in this case is considered physical family, or it is also past loved ones and ancestors. So let's see what we have. So we have the Two of Cups here. I feel like with this card, you're trying to make a decision in the month of November to create a relationship or have a relationship with a family member, perhaps. Someone maybe that you haven't really spoken to in a long time, or you haven't had the opportunity to share with in a long time. So you're trying to make the decision as to whether this is something you want to take on emotionally. Because I feel like it will be an emotional situation. This is also a card that is a decision card about working with your family in spirit, working with ancestors, working with deceased loved ones, talking with deceased loved ones, that kind of thing, on an intuitive level. So you may be considering doing that. And that is another part of November for you if that is what you're thinking about. So either a family member that is living or working with family in spirit. Okay, so now we're at the health and well-being. Keeping in mind that I'm not a doctor, if you're having any mental, emotional, physical, or spiritual issues that you don't know how to handle, seeking a professional would be a good idea. So health and well-being. All right, so we have the Seven of Wands. I feel as though this card is saying, where health and well-being is concerned, that you are on very stable ground. You've perhaps been working really, really hard to create a very solid, healthy foundation for yourself, and it's showing. It's showing how creative you've been with that. And that your knowledge, that your creativity is growing incredibly because, and your health and well-being is growing incredibly because you've been very creative and made yourself a very strong foundation. And universe is saying, keep it up. Stay solid, stay firm with what you're doing. And then next is children and creativity. And if you don't have children, we will just deal with the creativity part. Okay, splitting the deck. We have the Two of Wands. Now the Two of Wands is a creative decision. As a parent, if you have children, I feel like there is something you're attempting to make a decision about, and you want to be creative in whatever you need to make this decision over. You want to make sure it's a creative, very good decision, because these are your children after all. If this is a project, again, you're trying to make a decision maybe about one project versus the other project. Keeping in mind the twos are just the planning stage. You're not actually doing anything. You're doing the planning stage at this point. So as a parent, you might be thinking, oh, geez, I need to make the decision. Should I allow Susie to go to the campground with her friends? Okay, no adult supervision. Or should I have her stay home, or should I be the chaperone kind of thing? These are, decisions that you might have to make with your children. And again, it's just in the planning stages. It's saying don't rush the decision. You will have to make it, obviously. You will have to make it, but be creative when you're coming up with the answer to this decision. Try to be as creative as possible. And the same thing with choosing a project, whatever this creative project may be. Whatever you have to choose, make it creative. All right, so next is knowledge and skills, Taurus. Oop, almost dropped the whole deck. Okay, so we have the Two of Coins. Wow, we've got 3 2s so far. The only 2 that we don't have, let me pull that, Cups, Wands, and Pentacles. So we don't have the 2 of Swords yet. All right, so the 2 of Coins, 2 of Pentacles, knowledge and skills. Another decision card, okay? This time being about life in general. The 2 of Coins card is usually one where you're juggling a lot of things. And in this case, we're talking about knowledge and skills. So perhaps you're juggling a lot of different things. You may be going to college and are juggling way too many classes. You may be working 4 jobs. So that would be a lot of juggling, right? You may be trying to decide what is the best way to spend your time, because, when you're working, a lot of times working, that's a lot of your life. So what is it that you'd really like to be doing? What skills and knowledge do you have? So this is all about making a decision on any and all of those scenarios, or whatever works for you. Making a decision in November. You can't let it go any longer. You need to make a decision that you are comfortable with and that works with your life. So next is career and life path. So let's see where we are with career and life path. We have the Ace of Swords. And this card is about whatever you can imagine, whatever you can think, you can do. The potential is unlimited. Can't cap an ace. Impossible to cap an ace. So this may not be very helpful, but in a way it may be. An Ace of Swords is also about, or just swords in general, is about finding truth and also communicating with the higher realms or beyond the veil. So this card is one where it's saying, okay, if you're kind of stuck where the career and the life path are concerned, maybe it would be a good idea to commune with those beyond the veil. Ask your spirit team. Ask out loud, hey, I'm thinking about my career, thinking about my life path. What am I supposed to be doing? Could you send me a sign, something I can understand? Okay. And then you wait. And usually if you ask within 5 minutes, you'll receive the first sign. Doesn't mean it's the only sign, but you'll receive the first sign. But you got to be paying attention. It might be in something someone says. It might be in something you see. It might be in something you hear on the radio, or just as people walk by on the street, maybe talking on their phone. It can come in many forms. You have to be ready for it. So that is pretty much for November. That is what this card is saying, is that, the potential for what you can do is huge, unlimited. So you might need a little bit of help and somebody who's really going to share the truth with you. Thus the suggestion to ask your guides. And next we're looking at travel and helpful people. And helpful people are like mentors or business partners, that kind of thing. So let's see what it shares here. So we have the Empress. And I'm looking here as she is sitting on a throne, okay, which would normally to me mean travel is probably not a good idea. However, she is the Empress, which means she's part owner with the Emperor of their kingdom. They reign, I'm going to say the world, okay? So I think if you want to travel, wherever you want to go is probably just fine, okay? Where helpful people are concerned, I think the person who needs to help you in November is you. This Empress knows how to care for herself, to nurture and care for other people. But first and foremost, she understands that if she's not in control of how she feels, how she thinks, if she's not in control of herself, she can't really help anybody else. She is the ultimate in caregiving of self. So I think as for helpful people, you need to become the Empress in the month of November. You need to care for yourself in a way like you never have before. Okay? If you have children and you tend to your children a certain way, you need to nurture yourself in the same way. Okay, Taurus, that is what is being shared here by the universe with these cards for the month of November 2024. So let's see what happens with it. Until next time, take care.